नमस्कार आणि येवकार तुमकां सगळ्यांक परत एकदा गोंयकारपणाच्या जस्ट कॅज्युअल या कार्यावळीत. Joining us today in the studio is the Deputy Speaker of Goa Legislative Assembly, Bab Joshua D'Souza. He needs no introduction in Goan politics. He's son of late great politician Bab Francis D'Souza, my very close friend. Miss him very much in Goan politics. And knowing Joshua, he's a young, dynamic motorsports enthusiast, gym freak. What to say? He's very young, dedicated. He has been working tirelessly in his constituency. Now we have got him in the studio to talk about politics. Now, as we talk here, he's young, and we still know that he has a lot of time in politics, in Goan politics. But at this young age, he's already become a veteran. He's almost 7 years now into as an MLA. He got elected in 2019 after his father's demise. And there are a lot of issues. There are good things he has done. There are controversies also. So we'll put a light on what actually happened in last 7 years and what he plans to do ahead of 2027. Joshua, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Suresh. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, as I said, you have already become a veteran in Goan politics. So can you just rate your last 7 years as an MLA?
I don't think it would be fair for me to rate myself. The fact that I was given a second chance during the 2022 elections itself says that people saw something in me. People were confident that, I had what it takes to be the MLA. And there were a lot of expectations which people had the faith and trust. And of course, Babush worked tirelessly for 35 years in Mapusa politics and in Goan politics. So they knew that, being from the same family, he had left such an impact on so many people in the constituency, and not only restricting to Mapusa or Bardez, but all across the entire state. Whenever I travel, people know me, people who have never met me know me as Francis D'Souza's son.
Yeah.
And whoever I've built over the last 7 years kind of, know me as, myself, like as Joshua. So a very, very interesting journey actually, to fill in a gap of, somebody very big, somebody very
Yeah, that's what
influential,
I
somebody
was
very
just going to
powerful.
ask you. How difficult was it to fit into his shoes?
How to, do things the way he did it,
Yeah.
without trying to upset anyone. That I think is a challenge I still face till today. Uh, Filling in somebody's shoes who knew exactly what to do, how to handle it, how to go ahead with it, and basically somebody who came from a grassroots level, worked himself up till reaching the position of deputy CM. And of course, if he was still around, I think a lot of other things would have happened. He
Yeah.
may have been in central politics, or you never know where it could have taken him. But the kind of impact he left on people kind of made it extremely difficult for somebody else to fill in. And I think he kept the standard so high that it made it. He never thought, I guess, that the person who will come after him going to be his son. So I think uh, keeping the standard so high kind of made it even harder for me to fulfill, rather than a third party would have been probably, uh, he would have handled it differently.
Yeah.
But considering I am his son, people have even more expectations. People have even more demands. People expect things to be differently. So that has been the biggest challenge. But ultimately, if you listen to what people say and do what the people want, I think that was the motto of Francis D'Souza,
Yeah,
and that is how he collected people,
as
and
far
that
as
is
I
how.
know, Joshua, till he was there, you were not interested in politics. So how difficult it was to get into that political mode? Because see, it was not new to you. It was the politics was already there in the family. But you were nowhere around because I could because I knew Francis very well. Babush, he was very good friend of mine. As I said, uh, but I never saw you around in politics that time.
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't really feel the need to be two politicians
You
in
are more busy
at
with
the
the
same
bikes and
at
all
the
those
same time.
things.
I was always interested in business,
Yeah.
and that was my background. I did my bachelor's in business administration, and of course I did law as well at Goemkarponn College. I didn't complete, but I went into law, and being our घराकडे तुम्ही पावल्यार आमच्या घरान सकयल्या बेसमेंटाचेर ऑफिस आसा.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, whether you liked politics or didn't like politics, you had to walk through a political environment every day. So that kind of made you immune to the entire system. That kind of allowed me to be passively trained.
Yeah.
I was not actively in politics. I always said that I wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to, get into automobiles, and automobile dealerships was my passion. That is what I wanted to do.
And
And
you got into that.
father was always supportive, and he wanted me to be confident with what I wanted to do. He never said, Baba, you have to enter politics. Ye karun kuch jaye to, and this has to be your future. There was no pressure as such. The pressure came when he asked me to contest municipal elections, and it was a very casual statement. And he's like, if you want to do it, you can do it. And I'm like, Dad, if you want me to do it, I will do it. And he's like, why don't you see whether it works for you or doesn't work for you? And yeah, that's how it happened. And basically the passive training is what helped me get through everything that I've got through in the last 7 years. Ultimately, when he passed away, the demand was from the public. The demand was not, I was not the one that said,
Yeah.
I want to contest elections. I want to be an MLA. The pressure was so much from the
People.
supporters,
Yeah.
the people that came forward and said, nothing doing. We require you to be in politics. And like I said with my opening statements, ultimately the people decide who gets elected, who becomes the MLA.
Yeah.
And the people of Mapusa showed that they gave me the chance in the first time. And of course, the second time was by the people.
Yeah.
So ultimately, his teaching was you do what is in the interest of the people. And that is the key road to success, basically, for politics from my father.
Other thing, sure, that there was a lot of controversy when 2019, I guess it was when Babush expired. Uh, the thing was there was on social media. That was the time when social media was also very
Taking off.
going up, and then people called you nepo kid and never met people, this that, and there was division within the BJP there, meaning the supporters. So and now also there are controversies that there are some people, I'm not saying you not do, but I see a lot of photos. Your social media is very active right now. Whatever you do is seen by the people. So still there are people who say that you are not, never seen on the ground.
So there are two ways of looking at it. One is that I'm less of a show off and more of a person who tries to do things.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person who takes selfies. I'm not the type of person who likes to be photographed. I was quite a shy person, and that was probably a problem that I have today, wherein I'm not overly exaggerating or trying to sell myself to the public. Look at me, this is what I'm doing every day, every morning, every night. I am doing what I have to do, and it is a very organic, I would say, not in your face kind of an approach. We are very careful with what we post and how we post it, and we want to maintain a connection with the people. It is a little hectic sometimes of the year, quite hectic. The beginning of Jan is always hectic. Assembly time is always hectic. Coming into the studio actually took me quite some time.
Yeah,
So
I know.
that kind of gives the impression to a lot of people that he ready to meet? Is he not ready to meet? I always say that if you want to meet me, I'm always available at my residence. You're free to come. If there is anything urgent, you can come any time of the day, any time of the night. I will make sure that I meet you. But it has to be genuine. It cannot just be
Yeah.
when for the sake of doing it. I believe in helping people, and I think that is one of the core values that I stand for. And relating to your question, uh, I am available to who requires help. I'm not like I said, I don't try to oversell myself. I'm with very organic with what I try to do.
Now, how do you respond to that Nepo kid kind of?
See, there were uh, apprehensions, there were perceptions that I was a certain way before. I was not in public life. 2015, I think I got elected for the first time. We were out of college at the time, a few years before that. So we didn't really care about what my dad was doing. He was a politician. He was doing his work. I was being me at the time and trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And that's the time I figured out that I wanted to do business and get into. So no, people didn't feel like a genuine connection because I was not involved in public life. So it was only after the demand came, and as a counselor also, I used to have many conflicts with Babush as to, you asked me to contest, you asked me whether I want to do it, I contested. People still come to you. I said, people never ask me for
Yeah,
help. People don't approach me. I said, why did you ask me to
contest.
गेट इन टू इलेक्शन. आमच्याकडे आमचे लंच टेबलाचेर झगडी जाताली की तूं सांगता हें कर म्हणून आमी भितर सरल्यात आतां लोकूच
Yeah,
उलोवंक सोदिना आमचे कडेन जाल्यार हाव
that
डू
was
आय प्रोग्रेस फ्रॉम हियर. एंड ही वूड ऑलवेज स्मायल. आय सेड, they have a direct access to you and they don't need to speak to me. So I am like a namesake
counselor.
counselor, wherein all the people from the ward come directly to you. So this was also an issue that I used to have. We used to have many conflicts about. And my mom would always try to diffuse the situation, and she would be like, you're still young, it takes time. They are that is originally his ward. He had to, he came in from very young age from that ward, and people know him. So they have that one-on-one connection with him, and they can just pick up the call and phone and call him. So that kind of made me a little irritated at that time as to, why am I in this situation when nobody really needs me. I'm elected, I have a voice. I would just sit in the municipal council meetings and observe.
What is
The
that?
4 years I was only observing, because it wouldn't be fair to the MLA son is raising issues in the council itself about the city. Always it would be the other councillors. And one of the journalists asked me, I can't remember who it was. He's like, we never knew that you could speak. No, we didn't know what your opinion was. We didn't know what you had in your mind. So we also felt quite disconnected from you. So when I decided to get into mainstream politics, everybody was taken by surprise as to how is the guy who didn't speak, who didn't, interact with the media or interact with the public that much. I only restricted myself to my ward and the younger generation of people who wanted to, hang out with me or speak to me. That was basically it. All the other people had direct access to Babush, so they would just directly go home and meet him. And I was completely there but not there.
Yeah. Joshua, see, you became a MLA at a very young age, and after that, you were this thing. Now you are a deputy speaker. How is that responsibility as a deputy speaker of the Goa Legislative Assembly? How big is that responsibility for you, and how you're handling it?
It is when it was first told to me that the post of deputy speaker would be, in my favor, I was quite, apprehensive about the position, considering that you have to be an experienced MLA. You need to understand the rules. You need to have that type of respect from your colleagues. You need to have, some kind of seniority, basically. So I looked at it as I'm an extremely young person. How do I sit on that chair and make sure that all these guys, all the MLAs, all the ministers, how do I maintain the discipline? That was the biggest challenge. And most of the MLAs in 2022 were, some of them have been there since people like late Ravi Naik were I was like really tiny when he was the chief minister of Goa, and it was very difficult. I was quite overwhelmed. Such a big leader in front of me. How do I tell this guy to sit down? I knew them as my dad's
Friends,
colleagues,
colleagues, yeah.
and now I'm become the MLA and I'm become the deputy speaker. This was a very, 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 very
Challenging.
challenging position to be in. how do you show your authority to somebody who has so
More,
much seniority,
yeah.
so much, so much of legacy, so much of history in Goan politics. People like Digambar Kamath and Marvin Gudino, all senior politicians from the state of Goa. And how do you basically, handle
Handle
these
this.
guys? So I was like, I don't think I'm the right person right now to do this job. But
Can you
it was
tell?
mentioned that it
Yeah.
will all happen in time.
Any
Yeah.
interesting thing you got in your mind as a deputy speaker? Something happened in the house, and you were quite serious, and you didn't know what to do.
No, actually, to my advantage, I was always visiting the Legislative Assembly
Mm.
from the time I was completing my college. I had love for the question hour basically, and in 2007, uh, it was the Congress government. Late Manohar Parrikar was opposition leader. My father was also,
Yeah, from
sitting
Baba.
sitting right behind him, and I always looked at the assembly from the opposition's perspective, and I would always admire the way the house was conducted by Mr. Pratap Singh Rane, who was the speaker at the time.
Speaker at
And
the time.
I would say that I learned a lot from him without ever thinking that I would be on, that chair at the time. So the most exciting part for me at that time was uh, putting anything to the vote of the house, where the speaker said those in favor may say aye,
Yeah,
or
those
those
against
against
say
may
no.
say no. So this was something we would repeat, Mr. Pratap Singh Rane. And when I became deputy speaker, all my friends were like, "Oh my God, this is what you would say outside, and today you are saying it officially."
Yes,
So this
exactly.
is quite a situation that
How is it
took place.
when
The first time I had to say it, I was smiling inside that I was sitting on the chair and saying
doing
it.
that?
But yeah, that was quite a important moment. I was quite emotional that, coming from the gallery to the well, and from the well to sit on that chair has been quite
No, but
quite a journey.
how difficult it is when the opposition, now it has become a fashion kind of, for any issue they just come running into the well with
Yeah.
the placards and all those things.
See, they seem to be united with certain things and quite divided with quite a few things. See,
Yeah.
ultimately, it seems like they want the attention more than they want to put the points forward. There are seven strong voices in the assembly, and everybody can hear them loud and clear. They can stand up and say what they have to say, and I'm sure, I know for a fact that the ruling is listening to what they're saying. It is never that they're not allowed to speak, or they're shut out or shut down. They have to be relevant.
Yeah.
You have to be to the point. You can't drag the issue and waste the time of the house. And I see a lot of that happening in the last couple of sessions. But last session, monsoon session, I spoke to the speaker and said, "Speaker, sir, this is not done. Everybody's going home at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. 12 o'clock is the new 6 o'clock. We can't have this,
Yeah.
going on. The staff has to come in the morning and work again. We have to go. Not all members speak all the time, so it's different for the MLAs. But we have to consider everybody else that is making or working to make sure the assembly functions smoothly." And it was a very interesting point that the speaker, Mr. Ramesh Tavadkar, at the time said, "You take whatever decisions you feel is necessary to make sure that the
How
house
is that?
functions properly and the house ends earlier than what it is ending." So we dropped the time every day from by one hour to a time where I think 7:30, 8 o'clock became
New normal.
the new normal. So I got a lot of compliments from a lot of my colleagues. I got a lot of compliments from the staff for making sure that everybody, got to
Goes on.
go home at a
Early.
reasonable time. See, sometimes the issues are about Goa, and we have to allow certain issues to be taken up. But when time is wasted just for the sake of airtime,
Same
or yeah,
repeated thing
it's a
of
repetition of.
yeah.
So we asked the ruling members to restrict their speeches, try to be relevant, try to not repeat what somebody else has already said. And I think that allowed us to, be more within the time. I think this session, the latest time was the last day. I think Friday was
Yeah.
on the day that the session ended quite
Private
late.
members day, yeah.
So other than that, if you look at the timelines, it was quite reasonable. The new speaker is also
That
quite
is that is
strict.
allowed. That is once
Yeah.
once or twice in a
Yeah, that
session
is
is
fine.
okay,
Yeah.
but not every day. No,
Not
no,
2019. I remember going home at 4 o'clock or 4:30 once in the
yeah,
morning.
I remember
It
that.
it was very hectic.
Hectic. Yeah, that
No,
that
everybody, the staff is nobody can function the next day. With 5-6 hours of sleep, and you don't know where they're staying. No, some people stay all the way in Margao.
yeah,
Some people stay, and the construction
Sakli
was
and
going
all
on
those
at the
things.
time, and people had to travel and wake up in the morning and come back. We
Difficult.
had a hard time as MLAs. We had a hard time. I can only imagine everybody else how difficult it was.
Yeah. Coming back to your constituency, Joshua. Now there are a lot of things that while entire Goa, most of Goa has developed, MAPSA has remained as it is. How do you respond to this kind of statements?
See, MAPSA has remained as it is a narrative that is set by the opposition. A lot of people keep on this narrative I've heard for the last 7 years of me being MLA, and I've heard this prior to that also. I will say that MAPSA has got a lot of things done in the last 5 years of this tenure, 4 years, 4.5 years of this tenure. I will say that we are in the process of delivering. A lot of bureaucratic work has been done in the last 4 years, and we are uh, almost, or you can say, in the final phases of delivering. Uh, there have been a lot of works that have taken place. There have been a lot of process that we have gone through, and like I said, now we are at the end. A lot of people will say, "Oh, election lagi paule," but as you also know it as a journalist, the processes do take time, and I'm a person who strongly believes in taking inputs from people. I don't do something, get a lot of objection, then go back, change it, and give it out again.
No,
I
but
I,
Joshua,
I
my
believe
my
in
question,
doing.
I'll
Yeah,
just interrupt
yeah.
you. See, the projects like Ravindra Bhavan,
Mm.
Mapsa bus stand. Of course, a small bus stand has come up, but the big bus stand which was planned is not come up. Ravindra Bhavan still supposed to come. Then the Mapsa roads, the garbage issue. How do you look
No,
at
we can
this?
take them all up one by one. There's not an issue. So I would like to say that
Mm,
the bus stand has got approval from the cabinet.
mm,
I think in the month of October
mm,
for around 200 crores, where they had invited people to come forward with the PPP model.
mm.
So the file is tendered. The process is on. I think 27th is the day that the tender opens. It was supposed to be last week, but I was told that there was a week's extension for some technical reasons. So I would say that there is no more planning, there is no more paperwork, there's no more file that is stuck. The file is approved. We are now looking for people to come and the
Yeah.
Mapsa bus stand. So it is no longer Baba bus stand kenna zatle bus standaची file काय असा. What is happening?
So it's not
That
stuck
that
in a bureaucracy.
that it is not stuck in bureaucracy. The minute the tender is open, I think we can expect things to happen on a fast scale, and whoever the private contractor is, ultimately PPP models work in a way that the contractor also has something at stake. So he is not delaying it. He is not taking his time. He is also accountable. He is also more committed to the project because he is a partner in the project. And I think uh, as soon as the project takes off, we can expect work to start on a war footing in the constituency of Mapsa. With regards to the Ravindra Bhavan, I identified land for the government. I convinced the Kumnidad to, help us out. We need this project in Mapsa. I gave a location that was closer to the highway so that we would not have traffic congestions in the city of Mapsa. You're aware that Mapsa is a very compact
Yeah.
place. It's a very, it's located on a hill. It is not, we don't have, we'll have to spread out through, there are fields on all sides. So we had to be very careful where we placed Ravindra Bhavan. We have an ODP that is being finalized. In the ODP, there is a dedicated space for the Ravindra Bhavan. And the department also wanted a certain amount of space, which, according to their specifications. So I think the land identified in Kuchele is one of the best fit. There is no interruption, there is no traffic jam, there is no inconvenience basically to the residents of Mapsa, who will have to deal with the consequences of a Ravindra Bhavan coming in the city. So you come from the highway, you enter in towards Kucheli, you go for whatever function you have to go for, and you exit out on the highway.
Yeah.
It's a very, very strategic location, and I think the government is very keen on taking this project up. We have a meeting with the Honorable Minister of Art and Culture tomorrow, actually, tomorrow evening is when he will be in the Secretariat along with the Comunidad. The government said they didn't have enough, a budget to purchase the land from the Comunidad. The Comunidad was even happy for, some built-up area given to them. So they are quite flexible. They are ready with, whatever, whatever the government has to offer, as long as it's fair. निमाणे कितें आसा प्रत्येक कोमनिदादीन गांवकार आसता. गांवकाराक अहें दिसता की गांवकाराक कितें तरी एक फायदो जावंक जाय म्हणून. So whether it is a multi-purpose hall, whether it is some commercial space, whether it is an office for that particular comunidad, I think these are the facilities that comunidad lacks. And if the government can provide all these facilities for them, I think they are ready to, award that land or give that land or transfer that land in whatever legal way possible to the government, so that the Ravindra Bhavan can take off as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So it is not that we are still identifying place, we are still processing things. From my side, whatever is required of an MLA to do, I am definitely trying my best to make sure that these things see the light of day. When you spoke about the roads, I would like to mention that Ravindra Bhavan, bus stand, all these things are visible projects. As you know, across the entire state, we have taken up underground cabling, and Mapsa was one of the first cities to have underground cabling. Every year we would have issues of power cuts, power failures, load, voltage fluctuations every time during the rain. Every time there was a storm, we would have an issue. Every time there was peak season, we would have an issue. There was a cyclone in 2021 that actually made us realize how backward we were with our delivery of power supply. I mean, the government, how backward they were with delivering power to the end consumer. And I think during that time, we had already processed the entire proposal, and we kicked off this underground power supply. And I think last monsoon, 2025, was the monsoon with the least number of complaints, I would say. 2024, we had issues wherein the underground cabling was not completed. But 2025, I asked so many people, they were like, "Are, Porat Mapshan kai jaung?" I said, "Lighticher yaad gatlili. Did you all think about the monsoon this year? Was the light working properly?" Then you have to remind them to think, Baba, is the light working properly? Then they're like, "Oh yeah, we didn't have issues this monsoon with the light." So the lights were done. The power supply was stable. We didn't have interruptions. We didn't have breakdowns. We didn't have trees fell, but there were no more wires anymore to fall on, other than a few regions in Mapsa where low tension wires do exist. But the commercial part of Mapsa has both low tension as well as high tension. Similarly, we dug up all the roads because of the power supply cables as well as the water supply cables. So we had in quite a few places, commercial areas of Mapsa, underground water supply. The pipelines were very old. As you heard one of the debates in the assembly last week, that utkazo problem ha म्हणून. Mapsa had one of the major water issues every year. Every year we had water issues. But with this new supply of pipeline, this new laying of new pipelines, I can expect things to be much smoother. Similarly, we had 3 OHRs and 1 major sump constructed in Mapsa, 650 each OHR, located in Ganeshpuri, located in Feralt, and located in Karasodo, that would take care of 3 sectors of Mapsa. So all this is to make sure and ensure that if there is a problem at Asnora, we have a backup. Right now, we are hand to mouth. Whatever Asnora produces, whatever Asnora supplies to us, goes directly to the people. If there is a problem at Asnora, people in Mapsa suffer because we are also elevated. Yeah. They need the right amount of water in their station to allow gravity to deliver the water to Mapsa. So my idea was like, let's build tanks. Let's build storage. Because we didn't have storage. All this time we were, live. Water supply was live. So with the sump in Dattawadi and these three stations, I think most of the water supply issues should be solved. And then when you come back to the roads are in bad condition only where work has been done. All the other places are okay. We have got a couple of roads tendered. We have a major road which is being done from Gandhi Chowk right up till Bodhgeshwar Temple. There was a legal issue. There was somebody that went to court. That is why that entire process got delayed. We can have complete the four laning on the Kalangut side. We have started the road from Giri to Mapsa. If you've been
Yeah,
to
I've seen
Mapsa,
that.
you'll see that from Green Park to Mapsa
The road.
entrance, the road is very narrow. Then it gets wide again into a four lane. So that is also being taken up with my neighboring MLA Bab Kedar Naik, who has also been very, very instrumental in making sure that that project went through. We are also introducing milling for the first time in Mapsa, where hot mix has been laid for so many years over and over, the road, but they have never removed a layer. आता घरा सकयल झाला रस्तो वयर झाला उंच झाला सो
Yeah.
वी हॅव टू करेक्ट द प्रोफाईल टू मेक शुअर ऑल दीस थिंग्स fit in and make sure that people's houses don't get flooded. We have had a delay in resurfacing roads because of a tender that was pending financial approval, I think, for milling. So once that is done, we will remove the old layer and resurface all the damaged roads with a fresh layer of hot
Yeah.
mix.
So, Joshua, now going to, there are two different issues. Another thing about the infrastructure when we talk about, you have done power, roads, all you said. But last monsoons, we said Mapsa had a worst of monsoons with floods. I know most of this thing is with the municipality, but as a MLA, you also have a responsibility. The floodings, and I told you about the garbage. The garbage is the main issue what caused the floodings.
No, there are two ways to look at it. Uh, Mapsa is connected to the Mapsa River,
Hmm.
and Mapsa River deposits everything into the Mandavi.
Hmm.
When we speak about Mapsa River, it ends somewhere in Parra and on the other side somewhere in Giri.
Hmm.
And we all know that there has been, we've had major issues with the Tarikodlo, ఏమంటాది ఆమె తారిగడే म्हणता आम्ही.
Very
But
good.
Tarikade is just a point. It is not just one point that is congested. The whole river is basically the issue.
The river flow is also disrupted because of the highway.
Yes. So I would say that ultimately we are on a elevated land. Whatever rains on top has to go down, and as it goes down, it has to be pushed forward. If the end space is blocked, then the water remains in Mapsa. It remains in Mapsa because it is coming from a hill. Everywhere else, it is rather flat. So we could see places like Kollim, places like Angod getting flooded last monsoon, and I think it has been one of the worst flooding spots I have seen, at least in my tenure. Uh, but I'm happy to say that the government, after taking a lot of inputs from Honorable MLA Kedar and myself, because I think we are the two people that face the most difficulty in Bardez area, considering that we are touching each other. And government of Goa along with WRD approved the entire desilting of the Nalla, building of embankments and automated sluice gates. I think the tender is worth around 50 crores and the work is ongoing. So they will widen that entire channel right from Green Park Hotel Hapa, Giri, on all sides, wherever one goes towards Parra and one goes towards Uskoi, Bastara, that side. So both those, as we speak now, the work is still ongoing. And we also had one construction of one major Nalla at Bodhgeshwar Temple. I don't know, on part of this road widening that took place. So that was also a major choke up point. So that basically reversed the flow of water back into Kollim and back into Angod. We can also see that Giri is flooded every year. The panchayat is underwater because of all the man-made issues that we have in these low-lying areas. But the issue is being resolved as we speak, and I expect that there should be no flooding. Also, the issue of garbage where people just throw things into the nallas. I've seen educated people, known people coming with bags of things and throwing. In this monsoon, we found mattresses, we found coconut shellings, we found you name the item, and it was there in the nalla after desilting. So desilting takes place every year, but we can't just desilt, Mapsa, and the end is fully clogged with, I don't know, all the waste that has been going all these years. So the thorough cleaning of this nalla will definitely help Mapsa this coming monsoon, and we will make sure that all things are. We are also ready from our side to make sure that such a thing does not happen again.
Uh, Talking about further about politics, there is a lot of talks about when we talk about Bardej's two MLAs, Joshua and Michael Lobo. See, it's always seen that there you just two of you don't get together well. And the other thing is, the shocking part was after Michael took over as GSIDC chairman, he visited Mapsa and took a round with you and all those things. But what tell us, frankly, what exactly is the issue between you and Michael?
See, it would be difficult for me to answer the issue because I have absolutely no issue with anybody. Not Michael or no other MLA or no other colleague of mine. I think just like my father, I think I am quite open and respectful towards all my colleagues, right from the chief minister to the opposition leader. And I feel that we all have to come together to get our works done. Whether it is me and Michael, I've always had a open hand towards whatever discussions he had or whatever points he had. Now he has some vested interest that is none of my concern. Ultimately, my point is to focus on what I have to do for my constituency in the interest of my people. And we always have discussions on what we can do to make sure that Bardez improves. Ultimately, Mapsa is the central hub of Bardez. All the MLAs come to Mapsa, whether it is to the deputy collector, whether it is a sub registrar, whether it is the district hospital, or whether it is any other government office, PWD also. All the offices are in Mapsa. So all my 6 colleagues have to come to my constituency to get things done. So everybody has their opinion, everybody has their ideas, and I take everybody into account, into consideration, and do what is in the interest of the people of Mapsa. I have, uh, I'm going to be having a elevated corridor, elevated flyover in Pede now, which is not my constituency, but my constituency. It is an entry point wherein it is in another constituency, but it is used by 90% of my constituency. So there are situations like this, like Green Park, like Pede, where the junctions are not, proper. But I can't do anything because it is beyond my constituency. But we work together. Never have I criticized the old MLA of my neighboring constituency or the current MLA. We make sure that we find a solution because ultimately people have to be happy. He has certain things in his mind. I think it would be best if you asked him what is
Definitely ask him when
his
he comes
point
to
of view.
when
But
he
from
comes.
my side, I am quite open to whatever suggestions he has. And him becoming the chairman of GSIDC is quite special, considering that chairman has a lot of powers, and I think it is after a very long time that the chairmanship has been given to an MLA rather than being with the chief minister. So that itself shows that honorable chief minister has a lot of faith in chairman of GSIDC. And आमकां एक अपेक्षा तयार जाल्या की तेजे कडल्यान आतां जायते प्रोजेक्ट्स अप्रूव्ह करूंक शकता आमी. बिकॉज वी यूज टू मॅनेज इट बिटवीन PWD and WRD and GSIDC. We got in my last tenure, I got one bridge approved in GSIDC. Tarikodlo pool जो म्हणटा आमी. Mapsa River Bridge next to Milagres Church was the biggest issue in that area. But that issue was solved with under the chairmanship of Honorable Chief Minister Dr. Pramod Sawant.
So, Joshua, we have actually spoken for a lot, but final one question: 2027, if elected, would you stake a claim for ministership?
No, that is ultimately for the party to decide what happens then. But the first and the most important thing is to make sure that whatever we spoke about materializes, to make sure that people have to ultimately come out and vote. And I'm very confident with what I have planned for the way Mapusa has been growing, the way that we've seen a lot of people coming and settling in Goa post the pandemic, the impact Manohar International Airport at Mopa has on the city of Mapusa, how our infrastructure is at
Falling short.
the receiving end.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I was able to plan all these things before, to have this kind of foresight for the next 50 years, to make sure that whatever we do now will help the people of Mapusa and Bardes in the coming years. So yes, I'm ready with whatever responsibility is given to me or suggested by the people of Mapusa and of course the people of Goa.
Yes, Joshua, it was actually an intriguing discussion with you for about 40 minutes now, and beyond that, in fact, I think. And you spoke at length about all the infrastructure, about politics, about being the deputy speaker, giving us an insight of what exactly work is happening in MAPSA, which people don't know. I wish you all the best for 2027. We need young leaders who would take Goa forward, and as I said, we wish you all the best, and we thank you for coming to the studio. It's been a long time though we have been calling you, but it was really nice to have you to host you here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suraj. Thank you for having me in Goeamkarponn.
तुम्ही पळयतात गोंयकारपण, गोंयकारांचो गोंयकारा खातीर.